Welcome to Bear to Bull. We have Bitcoin over here trying to break the all-time high close. And then from there, I expect a move all the way to about 75 to 85K. And the reason I say that is because this is looking like a cup and handle pattern, which you get the bottom of the cup to the top, and then usually that's the breakout point. So it would be around 75K, and we have the Fibonacci retracement area here. So that'll generally be an area of resistance until we get potentially to over here, which is a wick. So sometimes you might wick to the 1.618, come back down, and then retest this area. If we do go higher, I still expect us to come back down and retest this new area of support from the last all-time high. So we're just gonna have to see how that plays out. But as of right now, Bitcoin is pounding on the door, trying to break it, break to the upside. Ethereum is actually on its way, since it's not waiting for Bitcoin. So that one already reached its new all-time high of 4,600, and I expect a continuation on that end as well. Let's check on-chain. So to me, that is bullish. The reason why I say that is bullish, let me actually move that for a second over here, is because back in 2013 we had a similar scenario. You can see we had the mid dump or mid correction, whatever you wish to call it. It came back down for the long-term holder supply, and then all the new traders were actually buying that up until they had the drop all the way down, and then they shipped people out. And as it was coming back up, old money or old supply was actually buying that dip all the way to the top. Then they started selling off, and then that's when all the new trades were kind of buying in. And it's just a pattern that always happens in all these markets. So the big money can push the markets. We're just in it for the flow, for the waves. So here we have a longer term view on the exchange position for Bitcoin, and all this green is inflows of Bitcoin, which generally the more there is of something, the less it's worth. So supply and demand dynamics is you can buy like more Bitcoin because there is more supply. However, after March 2020, we've been at a general decline. We did have a increase of money on exchanges or Bitcoin on exchanges back in May when it fell, but now we're back into outflows territory. So we've been Bitcoin has been getting more scarce over time. People don't want to sell it. So if you want to buy it, then just make sure you look at the data. I still think we're in one of these cycles which will have a peak and then come back down maybe another 80%, 85%. I'm not sure, maybe because all these institutions in it might be less, but as of right now, I still think eventually it will be back down to about 80-85%. You can see on the closer time frame that we're still at net outflows. So there's more Bitcoin leaving exchanges than coming into exchanges. Here's another indicator as well. You can tell over here, once it hit the 20 range, we've actually had Bitcoin shoot up in price. Same thing over here. It's kind of like consolidating, and then eventually tops off over here. We are currently just in the 20 range. So if you would have bought down here in the 30 or 40 range, that would have been like a great buy in my opinion. And when we top off, generally it's above this red line. See? And it's been consistent the last 10 years, so there's no reason for me to doubt that. Something else that has been consistent the last 10 years is this hash ribbon indicator, which provides buy signals for Bitcoin, and it's only available for Bitcoin. So it's never created a lower low after this signal has been printed in 10 years, except one time, and that was during the COVID pandemic, which can be called the black swan event, where like all these markets were overshot to the downside. So as far as for the RSI on the weekly, it still has room to move up, but it can come down and retest it again. But it still has all this room to move up. Now, why do I have the RSI up there? Is because generally during these ranges are when Bitcoin tends to be overbought. Right now, we're probably in the mid area. Over here would have been closer to oversold. Down here back in, was it 2018? Oh, you guys should have picked some up back here if you had the chance. So as you can tell here as well, where do you think we're at? We're actually midway to the top, I would say. So we have from the midway point, which is the halfway point, one wave from the top, then wave two comes to the bottom, three, four, and then it ends on five at the peak. Same thing over. This is the bottom, the red, and it comes in the bottom. Same thing, midway point. We go into wave two, three, four, and then we finish off in wave five. As you can see, we've hit these points before, and we are currently in progression to wave five. Now that doesn't mean that it's going to go straight up. Nothing goes straight up. At least nothing legit that I've seen go straight up. So I would suggest you take, prepare yourself if you do want to get into Bitcoin or in crypto before taking a position. But generally, wave five, at least in the last 10 years, it's always closed higher than the previous wave one. So wave one was pretty high, and if we see that again, it's probably going to overshoot. And like you guys saw in this on-chain supply dynamics back in 2013, we did have a huge run-up compared to 2017. And you have about 3 weeks until these old supply holders kind of start getting rid of the Bitcoin to the peak of the price levels. So, do with what you will. Good luck in the markets, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.